What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today I'm going to take a look and play a couple of games with a deck that has not had a lot of time in the spotlight just yet, and that deck is Tapu Koko V ADP. So this deck has not really been popular. I saw some talk about it on social media leading up to OCIC and then pretty much radio silence since then. I saw, I believe there was a couple of lists from Japan, and I'm not really certain that I ever saw any lists made by North American players or really anyone outside of Japan after OCIC, when the deck just didn't perform at all there. Nobody played it there, and then it kind of fell off into the abyss. So I'll be taking a look at this deck since I built this list around OCIC and was really interested in the archetype. So I'm excited to show it off a bit. But first, shout out to PotonStore.com, my sponsor and the best place to get PTCGO codes online. You can use code Celio for 5% off over there. And also shout out to FlipsideGaming.com. You can use code Celio for 10% off, and I also write free articles for them. So let's take a quick look at the deck, and then we'll play some games. So Tapu Koko V, it's really, its main attribute is that it does 200 damage for 3 energy, for 2 lightning and a colorless. With Thunder Mountain, that's for just 2 energy. And with ADP's Altered Creation in effect, it does 230. Tapu Koko V has Free Retreat, 200 HP. Both are generally good. Well, the 200 HP is generally good, and having Free Retreat is very good. And then, of course, ADP, this is a main part of the deck as well, since we want to use Altered Creation GX, so that for the rest of the game, our Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to the active Pokemon, and when we knock out the active Pokemon with damage, we take an extra prize card. Now, also in the deck are, we have a copy of one of the Fairy Mimikyu, and then one of the Psychic Mimikyu. They both do the same thing. They're both here for Copycat. If your opponent's Pokemon use an attack that isn't a GX attack during their last turn, use it as this attack. This one-shots a Zacian V that just used Brave Blade. You can also Great Catcher up your opponent's ADP and then one-shot it with a Fairy Mimikyu's Copycat, since ADP is weak to Fairy, so that's very good. Definitely a matchup that I keep in mind when I was building this deck and retuning it recently. You want to keep the ADP Zacian matchup in mind because that's the most popular deck and the best deck in format right now. And then, of course, since we are playing a lightning type deck, we have Tapu Koko Prism for the Dance of the Ancients that can accelerate some lightning energy onto our board. The real caveat with Tapu Koko Prism is this is a Greens Exploration deck, and we don't want to have abilities on the board. But it is just one of our 9 Pokemon, so our chances of starting it are not very high, and even if we do, we are playing supporters other than Greens. We can just retreat and hopefully pop the Dance of the Ancients and then start using our Greens. But even if just 1 out of 9 odds of starting it, so maybe 1 out of 9 games are a wash because of it, potentially, but that's definitely a risk of the deck. Playing Tapu Koko in a Greens Exploration deck. Originally, I just had one of the Mimikyus. I figured having an extra Pokemon can't hurt, since we want to never start Tapu Koko Prism, and having the choice of the Psychic or the Fairy one can be cool to have as an option as well, so that's why I decided to play one of each. So I'm not going to go into every single card in the deck, but why I really got interested in this deck was the strategy of choosing to go second and then either Pokégearing into a Team Yell Grunt or Greens for Wait and See Hammer. So you can only use this if you go second on your first turn and you instantly get to discard an energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. So in the mirror match, they attach to ADP, and then you either reset them back a turn with Wait and See Hammer or with Yell Grunt. If you used Wait and See, then on your second turn you can potentially Yell Grunt them again, set them back yet again. Of course, you also need to have energy for yourself, so I am playing 2 Energy Spinner, and I also have 2 Guzma Hala. So, excited to play some games with this deck. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully we can get some good games in with it as well. Alright, our first game is against Togekiss96. We won the coin flip, and we will be choosing to go second. Alright, we've got double Mimikyu start. We have a Pokégear, so Pokégear into greens and we're off to the races. Start with this one. And we're playing against Zacian V. I should also add that the custom catchers are pretty helpful for drawing cards at certain points as well. So they just attach to Zacian V, put down a metal frying pan, and use Intrepid Sword. So I think we'll go Energy Spinner, get some energy here to thin out the deck. We'll grab one of these. Guess we'll just take 3 to thin out the deck because we want to hit something with Pokégear here. So Pokégear for greens and Volkner. We're going to take the greens Exploration. And we're going to want to Tag Call for sure because that can grab us our ADP, and it can get us a Guzma Hala as well. Did we prize? Well, we actually prized 2 Guzma Hala. You don't like to see that. So maybe we'll just grab Quick Ball and greens, since Tag Call can only get us ADP. And this way we can also Quick Ball away a Lightning Energy, which is good to do for Koko Prism later on. So yeah, I think it's better to just do this. Quick Ball and greens. Get rid of a Lightning. Grab ADP. So since they didn't get an ADP, so we didn't want to use Wait and See Hammer there. Of course, it could still be good to do, but I think Quick Ball and Greens Exploration was much more important there. And that's all for now. Okay, so Marnie. We're going down to a 4-card hand and then top deck. So hopefully we can get a supporter, a Volkner, or a greens. We did not. This is a really bad looking hand here. Water energy. Okay. That is definitely something. Bench this. And Alter Creation. Oh, I just recently re-downloaded PTCGO after I had to wipe my hard drive and reinstall Windows, so all of those notifications are going to be on. That's going to bug me throughout. You might notice that in my next couple gameplay videos. It's going to be telling me when I'm affected by a special condition and stuff like that. Pokemon catcher. I'm gonna try to bring up my Mimikyu or Tapu Koko. Okay, bring up Tapu Koko just for 2 prizes, of course. Little do they know I have another one waiting on deck. And a very dead hand as of now. We got another ADP. Alright, we'll play this down. And I don't think there's any reason to bench the other ADP. We're going to Ultimate Ray. And we'll just put 3 energy onto our Tapu Koko V. That also thins out the deck a little, which could maybe help us. We have 37 card deck and not a lot of cards we want to hit. I really wouldn't mind seeing a custom catcher, actually, to just draw some cards. So switch into Stellar Wish. There it is, the special condition notification. Oh, they got double custom catcher? Really? Okay, and they're gonna go for Altered Creation themselves. They could have just double customed up this, the Tapu Koko V, and okay, knocked it out, but then they have a damage Zacian, so that might actually set them back a lot if they were to do that. So bringing up the Mimikyu solid. I'm dead drawing, so they'll hope I can't do anything, and I can't do anything. They got what they asked for. So this is really rough. Big Charm does not help our Tapu Koko V. They're doing 260 now with that. I guess the only place to put this is onto the ADP. Do we even do it at all? I guess we do. We'll just toss that down and pass, I guess. So their Pokemon catcher on the Mimikyu and just let it sit there worked. And the Marnie really threw my hand for a loop. We have just not recovered from that. I was hoping not to hit into a lot of Marnie playing while piloting a green stack, and most ADP Zacian lists have not been Marnie heavy, and it looks like we just hit the wrong one here on the ladder. They're down 2 customs and a regular Pokemon catcher. Also, they're playing Metal Frying Pan. So when I originally... Ooh, let's see what they're doing here. Please not... Oh, it's a heads. Come on. They are getting everything they want. Now, hopefully they're swinging into us with the damaged Zacian. No, they got another Metal Saucer. This is just not going well. When I originally made this list, the defensive tools weren't as popular. So I think maybe a Lysandre Labs in place of a power plant might be good. But yeah, this is really bad for us. They hit 2 Pokemon catcher heads in a row. So that's obnoxious. They knocked out our Koko V to go down to 1 prize card. Maybe we hit a reset stamp here? No, that is definitely not a reset stamp. Oh boy. I guess it couldn't hurt to just... No, we won't put down the Koko Prism. With that size of a hand, only a 12 card deck, I'm thinking they'll be able to get another double custom catcher off. I think it's likely. So we'll put metal and water there, and then, or metal, yeah, metal and water there. We'll put a metal here, I think. Does it really matter? Because I can always Dance of Ancients to that one. Okay, so double custom catcher here wins them the game. They sent up ADP, so I feel like they have it. Yeah, there it is. Double custom catcher on the Mimikyu for the game. So I think we could have been okay if they didn't hit the double, not the double custom catcher there. If they didn't hit the 2 Pokemon catcher heads in a row, I think we could have been okay. I'm actually going to go change the... I think I want to change the power plant to a labs and try that out. Alright, we lost the coin flip, and they're going first. Just how we want it. Mimikyu start is not the best, but we'll take it. Anything but a Koko Prism start is workable. Cherish Ball for Latios GX. And then attach Aurora Energy. So this is... Oh, I was going to say this is probably the Malamar version, but it's not. It's the Welder version. Because I don't think the lists for Welder that performed well were playing Aurora Energy. Okay, so this is the Welder version that also plays Guzma Hala, or maybe... Yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's not the Solgaleo GX version, the ultimate version with all special energy, because that doesn't play Giant Hearth. Alright, so they've got Switch and they have Guzma Hala in their hand. I have a reset stamp, so I guess it's at least an option to stamp them, since I know they have 2 cards that they kind of want in their hand. Let's start with a Tag Call. We'll grab ADP and Guzma Hala. And then from there, we definitely want a Pokégear for a Team Grunt. And that's actually really good here if they don't have Welder in their hand, or they don't get it off of Stellar Wish. So basically, if they don't get the Welder next turn, so we'll bench this, attach water. The iffy part about Grunt is they have the Hearth here, so they can just go get some energy if they need it for a Welder. I believe I know that 3 of their cards in their hand are Guzma Hala, Switch, and Fire Energy. But with the Stellar Wish, thinning out your deck with Giant Hearth, it's really easy to get to the Welder. If I Guzma Hala, I'm just bumping the Hearth. That's really it. And I don't want to stamp them from a 7-card hand to a 6-card hand. That's barely anything. So I'm just going to bench this, and I think I am going to Grunt that. Okay, so they attach another the same Aurora Energy that I just Grunted, and they do have the Welder, so they're going to knock out this Mimikyu, which is definitely not what we want to see happen, because that Mimikyu is really good for knocking out their Mewtwo. So that sucks. And they have the Switch in hand. We saw them get it with Stellar Wish last turn. We'll probably see a Tag Purge here. And this has free retreat, so no reason not to send it up. Another Pokégear. I think we're definitely going to Guzma Hala here anyway. But I think we Guzma Hala and then Pokégear when there's less cards in our deck next turn. Guzma Hala gets us the Aurora Energy and Big Charm. But we do have to get rid of the Reset Stamp, the Guzma Hala. Or we just get rid of the stadium that we grabbed. That could also work. Yeah, we'll just grab this. We'll do that. Or maybe it's better to get rid of the Giant Hearth and not stamp there. Well, they have a 9-card hand. We're putting it down to 5. We know there's a Welder in there. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Labs. And stamp. Okay, so we have 310 HP. So double Blaze GX won't knock us out. And they would have to discard 6 energy from my cargo to knock us out. Pitch away a Megalop and grab 2 energy. And just Tag Purge here. Tag Purge is definitely annoying. Electropower. Pokégear. Get a Volkner. With this Volkner, we're going to grab Lightning Energy. And I kind of want to grab a Custom Catcher to draw 3 cards. But that burns. I guess we can do it without burning the Electropower. We can just draw 2 cards. Because holding on to the Electropower means that we only need to hit 1 more Electropower, and then we can one-shot this Mewtwo with Thunderous Bolt, because Alter Creation has us doing 30 more damage already. So I think I'll Custom Catcher. We're not taking prizes, so we don't necessarily have to Custom Catcher right now. But we can just hold on to it. And, yeah, we'll attach 3 energy. We definitely want to hope that our Tapu Koko V does not get catchered up. Knocking out the ADP is fine. They don't have another Mewtwo set up yet. Of course, they could establish one now. especially because of the Giant Hearth being down. Never mind, the Giant Hearth is not down. I was going to say it's fine holding onto the custom catcher, because we could just pitch away a card if we get something we can't play. But and in the same breath, they got rid of the Giant Hearth. Pokemon catcher, this is a heads. I think we've lost. It's a heads. That is not good. Yeah, that's really, really bad. If we still had the Mimikyu, then we'd be fine, but that is just terrible. So Flare Strike for the knockout. Of course, they can't use Flare Strike next turn, but they have plenty of other attacks they can use. I don't think there's a way out of this for us. Well, we did get a greens, and where there's a greens, there is 2 trainers coming up. So let's play the power down custom catcher. The Great Catcher does not help us. So we would get Quick Ball and Thunder Mountain, or Quick Ball and Coco Prism. And we would need, let's see, is it even all in here? Yeah, I mean, I guess we can hope for like the perfect 3 cards off of a custom catcher. So we Quick Ball away the Great Catcher, and we get Coco Prism because that's less likely for us to draw into than the Coco V is. So we get the Coco Prism. Bench ADP and hope to draw into the perfect cards, which we did not draw into. Yeah, so we Ultimate Ray and then they just bop us with Lava Flow. We could always switch into something, but that's just prolonging the inevitable, so I'll scoop there. So, in the games we just played, the deck definitely did not perform very well. On paper, I do think the deck looks great, and I'm going to continue experimenting with it. Maybe I'll even play it again in a video, or possibly on stream. But it's a deck that I am having fun with, and I like the unique strategy of wanting to go second and using the wait and see hammer. But we definitely got hit by an over-aggression with the Mewtwo. So the deck is really built to succeed with the Zacian mirror, which we also didn't do that. But I do think it has some potential, but I definitely wouldn't call it like great currently. I think it could function, but it definitely has some glaring weaknesses like the Marnie and the reset stamp problem, and like just the lack of speed. Like you saw me wanting to draw with custom catchers a lot because we're not playing Dedenes and we're not playing Jirachis, so the greens engine decks definitely feel like they're on the back burner, but I am still trying to make it work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, check out PotownStore.com and FlipsideGaming.com. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this and you want to see more content like this in the future, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.